All right, the much anticipated co-main event at UFC 294, Khamzat Chimaev versus Kamaru Usman. The Nigerian nightmare is done. It's in the bag, and you've probably seen Khamzat Chimaev got the job done. And he did it, well, he did it with a stunning opening round. It looked like Khamzat Chimaev was going to finish Usman in round one. It looks like he was going to ragdoll him, like he said he was going to, because he went out there, shot a takedown, and dominated the first round. Took the back, had it for a long time, landing little shots, trying to get the rear naked choke. Usman shows a great display of strength, works back to his feet. Khamzat's trying for the rear naked choke. Usman slams him, tries to spike Khamzat on his head. Didn't do that. Khamzat kept control. Massively dominant round one. And it looked like that was the start of things to come. It looked like that was how the fight was going to play out. That Khamzat was going to run right through him. That he was going to be the nightmare. The Chechen nightmare for Kamaru Usman. But no, that's not what happened. Now listen, Khamzat did get the win. But in round two, we saw a very different fight. First of all, they were kind of timid in round two, okay? I think Khamzat maybe, used a lot of his energy in round one. Maybe didn't manage the gas tank as well. Or just maybe he has a bit of a problem with the gas tank in general. And we saw shades of that when he fought Gilbert Burns. We'll go back to that in a second. But in round two, he was very timid, as was Usman. No man alive. No man really throwing anything much, okay? But then towards the last minute or so, Usman started connecting with a few shots, a jab, a 1-2. And he did enough, in my opinion, to steal round two. Then again in round three, much of the same, right? Khamzat shot some double leg takedowns from far too far away, okay? He didn't use hands to set it up. Usman saw it coming straight away, stepped out of the way. And that was kind of the story of round three until they started throwing down, okay? And he started landing some shots and then threw down. It was a back and forth. It was a brawl right at the end. But again, I think Usman could have possibly stolen round three. I would have to look at the numbers. It was very, very close, okay? But coming into this one, because Usman took it on short notice, because Usman had lost his last two to Leon Edwards, and because Usman hadn't had a full camp, let's be honest, I thought that Khamzat Chimaev was going to come in here and have a really outstanding showcase performance. He had an outstanding showcase performance in round one. But then after that, Kamaru Usman turned into the Chechen nightmare. He was a nightmare for Khamzat Chimaev. Now, after the fight, and it was a victory for Khamzat Chimaev, I'll be honest, I think it should have been a draw. I think it should have been a draw because a 10-8 round, it was a 10-8 in round one. And don't come at me. I did a seminar with the judges, the referees, and the athletic commissions. A 10-8 round is when you clearly can establish that that guy won that round. He dominated that round. That's a 10-8. In the old school days of a 10-8, you had to almost kill the guy. You had to beat him pillar to post and just the referee on the verge of stopping it every 5 seconds. That used to be a 10-8. Now, a clear-cut, decisive winner. That is the criteria for a 10-8. Don't come at me. I am telling you, I am educating you. That is the specified criteria for a 10-8. If we follow that criteria, that was a 10-8. I think Usman got round two. And I think Usman might have got round three by the narrowest of margins. It was ridiculously close. If you score it on that, that's a draw. But regardless, it wasn't a robbery. My opinion is like an asshole. Everyone has an asshole, and you're probably calling me an asshole right now. Regardless, Khamzat Chimaev got the job done, okay? Kamaru Usman did himself proud. He did himself proud. He did not lose that fight. Yes, he lost on the scorecards. But he didn't lose in the court of public opinion. Okay, he went out there, he showed up on very, very short notice, fought a guy that a lot of people don't want to fight, fought a guy that's undefeated, fought a guy that people have as the future of the division, right? And of course, Khamzat now is going to get to face Sean Strickland very soon in the next fight. We'll come to that in a minute. But Kamaru Usman should hold his head up high. He did a tremendous job. He got taken down early in the first round. Khamzat is a hell of a wrestler, ridiculously strong. But Usman stayed cool, calm, and collected, and relied on that championship experience that he has. When somebody has you down like that, when Khamzat's trying to stretch him out, trying to flatten him out and get ground and pound and all the rest of it, trying to finish him, trying to choke him out, you name it, whatever it is, you got to stay calm. Okay, it's when you panic that you start to make mistakes. And that championship experience, as I said, that paid off. Kamaru Usman stayed cool, calm and collected. He's always cool, calm and collected. He's a very cool individual. And as I say, brought himself back into the fight in rounds 2 and 3. Regardless, it wasn't a robbery. Well done to Khamzat Chimaev and well done to the Kamaru Usman. As I say, I think from where he was, losing those 2 fights to Leon Edwards, his stock has come back up. He showed that there's still life in the old dog yet. Showed that he's still got it and he can still compete at the absolute highest level on 12 days notice, fighting up a weight class. If that doesn't give a resurgence, if that doesn't put life back into the career of Kamaru Usman, if that doesn't make the rest of the division and his fellow fighters respect him, then I don't know what will. So it's a moral victory in many ways for Kamaru Usman because, of course, he went there to win. But let's talk about what's next for Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev, he's got to work on that gas tank. He did slow down a little bit, okay? And he's a great first-round fighter. He's a sprinter. He goes hard. He goes fast. He ragdolls everyone in the first round. But then, if he doesn't get them out of there in the first round, he has shown a tendency to slow down, okay? Against Gilbert Burns, that's what we saw. All the other fights, people couldn't weather that storm. Khamzat Chimaev was able to just obliterate everybody early in the first round, but Gilbert Burns showed, and Kamaru Usman tonight showed, if you can get through that first round, if you can weather that storm, if you can take that hiding, if you can not get submitted, and regardless of how you do it, just make it to the second round, it becomes a very different fight. So as I say, Khamzat has to work on that a little bit. Maybe he needs to pace himself because he's so hell-bent and confident in his ability of getting the finish that he taxes himself, he tires himself, and he doesn't leave anything left for the later rounds. So as I say, something to think about there for Khamzat. Far be it from me to critique. He's an incredible fighter, and now he extends his record to 13-0, I think it is, and beating great fighters now. Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, and the list goes on. So now he gets to fight Sean Strickland. And he didn't really play up on that. I thought he would have screamed and shouted, said, Strickland, I'm coming for you. I'm going to smash you, brother. I fuck you up. Yeah, I'm going to be the champion. But it's not what we saw. What we saw was a very humble and different Khamzat Chimaev. I thought the words that he said on the microphone were beautiful. He talked about how tough life was. He talked about how now he's happy. He has money to help his mother. And that's beautiful. And that's what this sport of mixed martial arts does for people like Khamzat, people like me, people like everyone that fights in there. None of us are born with a silver spoon in our mouth. If we had a silver spoon, we wouldn't be doing this. And through the UFC, okay, and the worldwide platform that it has and that it gives fighters like us, we are able to turn our lives around. So, a humble Khamzat Chimaev, okay, but make no mistake, he still wants to fight Sean Strickland. That will be the next fight. But I got to be honest, Sean Strickland, after watching that, is probably very confident because Sean Strickland does not get tired. He's got a tremendous gas tank. He has a very economical style. And he also has a very tricky ground game. The point of the ground game is that I think it's good enough to not get finished in round 1. And over a 5-round fight, Khamzat slowed down over 3. Over a 5-round fight, one would assume that Sean Strickland would probably start to take over. But still, what do I know? I'm a one-eyed idiot. The main event started. I'm going to go back and watch that. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you soon.